Florida Governor Ron DeSantis kicking off his 2024 campaign in Iowa this morning, spending 2 days there before heading to New Hampshire and South Carolina later this week. But he's got his work cut out for him, as an Emerson College poll shows former President Trump has a 42-point lead among Iowa Republican caucus voters. That is a lot. Look who we have to discuss. Leader of the Metropolitan Club, Krysia Lenzo, Kevin Wallings, a partner at HG Creative, and Joe Pinion, the founder of Pinion Enterprises. All three join me now. Thanks to all three of you for being here. Krysia, we'll begin with you. What does Ron DeSantis need to do, and how does he do it?
He needs to do a lot. Based on this poll, he's going to 12 events in 4 states, starting in Iowa today, in Des Moines. So this is very significant for him because Iowa, for the Republicans, is the first-in-nation caucus state. And this matters because Trump has a lead, a significant lead, as we just said, because he's appealed to the Iowan voters, whether it's with corn and also the production, general food production for farmers there. DeSantis needs to come out swinging. He needs to be strong. And this is his first time in the state since he's declared, so this will be important for donors.
Kevin, yesterday I had the honor and privilege of asking the governor if he could even win Iowa. And here is what Governor DeSantis said. Listen.
Iowa is very important. We've got an incredible amount of support. I got endorsed by 37 legislators there before I even announced my candidacy. We obviously have a lot in common with Iowa in terms of what Florida's done and what they've done under Governor Kim Reynolds. And I think the groundswell of support has been really, really strong. And, you know, we're going to press the case. There may be some differences with me and Donald Trump, and I think that those differences redound to my benefit in a place like Iowa.
Yeah, look, Kevin, obviously he's alluding to Midwestern values there, talking about Iowa, talking about how he differs from Trump. But is that enough to eliminate a 42-point Trump lead?
Well, it's a good question, Todd, of the governor yesterday. Listen, Iowa is critical, obviously, in terms of the first-in-the-nation status. And I think what you're seeing from the governor is his focus on the evangelical vote. So he's kicking off his campaign at a church there this evening in Des Moines. And I think that's a signal that that vote is so important. And you saw back in 2016, actually, Donald Trump came in second to Ted Cruz in the Hawkeye state because of evangelicals backing someone like Ted Cruz. So that vote is going to be super important. Obviously, you have a huge deficit with that 40-point makeup for the governor. But, all eyes will be on his trip today and tomorrow, crisscrossing the Hawkeye state for sure.
While we're rehashing yesterday's Fox and Friends show, I was on with Kayleigh McEnany, and she said it best, I think, when she said Trump wins because he physically connects with the voters. Maybe not touching all of them, but he's in a room with them. He's at a panel. He's at a speech, and he really does physically connect. Does Ron DeSantis even have enough time to do that after declaring so late?
Well, look, I think he did himself a great disservice by declaring so late. I think you have to remember this was a man who was the first Republican in 20 years to win Miami-Dade, Florida, and many polls going all the way back to November. He was up by some 3 points on President Trump. Since then, obviously, we see the chasm that currently exists. And so I think to Kevin's point, yes, the history book is littered with people who won Iowa and did not become the Republican nominee. Mike Huckabee for one, Rick Santorum for another, Ted Cruz being the third. But I think it's critical for President Trump to display that personal touch if he plans on holding off Ron DeSantis. All roads go through Iowa if you plan on being the Republican nominee for president in 2024.
Obviously, it's an important state, but there's a big election, big primary season that goes beyond Iowa. In the minute we have remaining, let's go around the horn quickly and broaden it out. Do you expect Ron DeSantis to focus completely on policy going forward, or at some point is he going to jump in the mud with Trump and focus on personality?
Well, their policies are very similar, at least domestically. We still haven't really heard much from Ron DeSantis yet in terms of what he plans to do geopolitically. But with a few seconds left, I think he's going to have to jump in the mud.
Kevin, as a Democrat with your guy Joe Biden polling so poorly, what are you watching for as the Republican primary heats up?
Well, I hope they all jump in the mud together because I think that only benefits the incumbent president. But you're already seeing Ron DeSantis take the fight to Donald Trump. But he's got that tightrope he's got to walk because he can't afford to alienate Trump voters. He's got to bring them to his side but not attack the former president so directly.
What happens in New Hampshire and South Carolina, Joseph, to finish us off?
Look, all the delegate math in the world, in Kentucky, all the gamesmanship in Nevada, none of it will matter, in my humble opinion, if you don't go into Iowa and demonstrate you can go toe-to-toe with President Trump and beat him. So if you're Ron DeSantis, if you're Nikki Haley, any chance of winning ends if you don't walk out of there as the victor of the Iowa caucus.
So you have to win it. You can't just have a good showing and finish second or third.
This is, going all the way back to Grover, Cleveland, right? We're in unprecedented territory. There is no hope in New Hampshire if you don't win Iowa. Those people who are on the fence, who think that there is potentially a chance for somebody else, you have to show them you can beat Trump. Otherwise, there'll be no hope for you when you ask them for your vote later in the cycle.
We reached out to Grover, Cleveland to try to get him on the program. We have not yet heard back. Krysia Lenzo, Kevin Walling, and Joe Pinion, thank you guys. Great to see you all. Ash.